I'll relay it.
Does Martha C know?
She knows, yeah. So do you want me to put the plaques or shit? Sorry. Yes, uh-huh. You want to give them to Laura? Okay.
So I'll submit your name.
No, I don't think so. All right, well, have a seat here. Have a seat. I talked to Julie.
All right, everybody, board members, we ready? Phones off? All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Nice. Students in red. All right. This is the regular board meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Canutillo Independent School District. Today is September 24th, 2019. The time is 5:34. And would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And do we have somebody in red come up here and help us? Everybody. All right. Ready? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, sir. All right. That takes us to roll call. Sonia.
Yes, sir. Ms. Brigham.
Present.
Mr. Coronado.
Here.
Mr. Payan.
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Mr. Rodriguez is not going to be present tonight. He is on school district business and where the NSBA Hispanic Council, he's the chair of that. So next meeting's this
Mrs. Searles.
Mrs. Searles has not called yet, so I expect she probably will be here. Okay.
Mrs. Trout.
Present.
And Mrs. Iglesias.
Here.
I hope Mrs. Searles is okay. She hasn't called. All right, that takes us to the next agenda.
Item E, CASD vision and mission statements.
All right, and Mr. Payan and Ms. Trout, would you please meet us?
Vision. Canutillo ISD is a premier district preparing tomorrow's best today with innovative, future-focused learning opportunities for every school student.
Thank you, Ms. Trout.
Canutillo, a premier district. Our mission is to create rigorous, student-centered classrooms which develop future-ready students to compete in a global economy and thrive in a multicultural world.
Thank you. Payan.
Board President Coronado, the presentation from Crete, they are not present. We'll postpone that.
All right, then we will postpone that item with the consent of.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, then next agenda.
Yes, sir. Item 3, board honors.
Good evening, Board President Coronado, members of the board, Dr. Calavis. Please join us in the front of the dais to begin this month's board recognitions.
Let's kick off tonight by recognizing the Canutillo High School Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, also known as FCCLA. The National Star Event competition at the National Leadership Conference in Anaheim, California in Wam Big this past summer. Congratulations to students Jonathan Landeros, Mia Saavedra, and Zahida Favela, who competed in hospitality, tourism, and recreation and received a gold medal in the event. They had the highest score for their event and placed first in the nation.
Representing us so well.
Also, Genesis Garcia competed in interpersonal communication and received a silver medal. Great job, students.
The teachers are back there. Okay, we had all of FCCLA up here. Come on.
Crystal Rodriguez.
I do want to acknowledge a teacher because she worked in food service but went at school at night to get her degree in her teaching degree. Miss Crystal.
She also worked at facilities. We still miss her.
In our first year, her team took first place in the state of Texas.
Nice.
And also, we can't acknowledge Miss Castillo.
Can everyone get closer to her? Okay, so Candace, get in between Castillo and Kayla. What? Everyone, 1, 2, 3.
Hold on just a second. This one's for the notable. All right, good job.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
Just let me know.
State office, regional office. Not yet, though. Wait.
Just wait.
Just wait for a second.
No, go back there.
You go back there and wait. You got them all confused.
The kids, they're easier to work with.
Oh, okay.
They have a job.
Thank you.
Next, the CISD Finance Department is on a roll. Once again, the Association of School Business Officials International awarded CISD with the Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 3rd consecutive year. And also for the third time, the district was awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the Government Finance Officers Association of the United States and Canada for its comprehensive annual financial report. And recently, I'm sure most of you have heard, Moody's Investors Service upgraded our credit rating to AA3 from an A1. Canutillo is now among the best rated school systems in the region. The diligence of our administration coupled with leadership of our board has put our district in a sound financial position and ready for future growth. Congratulations to the finance team for all these amazing accomplishments.
The audience who don't know exactly what that increase in credit rating means, it means, well, first and foremost that we get, right, we save a lot of money when we borrow money on bonds or refinance our existing bonds. But apart from that, it means that these organizations that rate us have the confidence that what we're doing here is excellent work in terms of the reporting and the financial accountability that is reserved for, you know, the best organizations in doing that for accounting in the government sector. So, you know, thank you to our
Miami. Oh my God. Dallas beat Miami. They're going to the Super Bowl. Yes. And they beat Washington. I can't believe it.
What about if we move to the center for the picture?
It's a building.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Congratulations. Student outcomes have been the primary focus of Canutillo ISD Superintendent Dr. Pedro Galaviz since he arrived at the district in 2013. The results are clear in the accomplishments over the last year that could be considered one of the most memorable and accomplished seasons Canutillo has ever experienced. This year, Canutillo ISD became the only traditional school district in the region to earn back-to-back A's in accountability. For the second consecutive year, the district received a Performance A rating in overall performance from TEA. And not only were we the only district to receive back-to-back A's, but with a grade of 91, this makes Canutillo ISD the highest rated among districts in Region 19. Our continued success is due to the enthusiasm and innovation that our teachers and staff bring to work every day, and our Board of Trustees advocating for our students. Our Superintendent, Dr. Galaviz, always emphasizes teamwork and a student-first mindset. Let's not forget every single member of our support staff at every campus and administration facility, from custodians to bus drivers, parent liaisons to child nutrition workers, and everyone in between. Parents, partners in education, and community members also play a vital role in our success. It is truly a community effort to continue moving our district forward and improving outcomes for all our students. Canutillo is a premier district preparing tomorrow's best today. And on behalf of the district, we'd like to offer our Board of Trustees a token of our appreciation for your dedication and hard work.
An American Airlines title.
That's very
Thank you guys, thank you guys. You guys are the ones that make this go. Not us.
Yeah, it's you guys. Well, you guys do all the. Thank you. You guys do all the work.
Staff, come up.
Administrative.
All staff.
All staff.
Everybody go up.
They're all staff, come up.
Kids, go up.
Go,
We're gonna make it a one big party.
let's go. Deborah. Christina. Of everybody. Celebration.
Yeah, I'll just get further back.
Yeah. Did you get my email? I didn't. You didn't
Those teachers, come on.
The kids like to be there.
Yeah, those like back here.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Board members, thank you.
I haven't forgotten. No big deal. I forgot I told him that I would take them all out to steak. If we got another day.
Yeah, I really have big shoes to do.
No. You're coming also. You're coming also. You're coming also. We should invite the CNI directors too. Oh, did you need this?
Miss Christine, thank you very much for this.
I will let her know tomorrow.
We're giving the props to Miss Christine.
Yes, thank
Please,
you.
thank you so much. Please let her know thank you.
I will.
But she thinks that's what you should surprise.
It doesn't. She's wonderful.
That is just excellent, excellent presentation and excellent kudos for our district and really mainly for our students. And we thank everybody involved in all the honors and recognition that you all have brought to the district, students, teachers, staff, and administration. Thank you all so much for your hard work, your dedication. I grew up in this, this school district, and we have come a long way, a long way. And it's thanks to people like all of you who are making us shine. And we really appreciate your service and your work and your dedication to us. There's really no other school district here in this region like us. So thank you. Sonia, next agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item number 4, open forum. Any person wishing to address the board during the period reserved for public comment at a board meeting must sign up to be heard in accordance with District Policy DED Local. Number 1, each participant will be limited to 3 minutes to make comments to the board. Number 2, any group of 5 or more persons must appoint 1 person to present the group's views to the board. Number 3, the board is not permitted to discuss or act upon any issues that are not posted on the agenda for tonight's meeting. Board President Coronado, we have 3 speakers, and the first is Belinda Castillo and Ms. Rocha.
All right. Welcome again, Ms. Castillo.
President Coronado, school board members, and Dr. Galaviz. Hello, my name is Natalia Rocha. When I first walked through the doors of Canutillo 3 years ago, I never would have thought I would represent Canutillo as being Region 1's VP of Public Relations. It truly is an honor. Not only that, but being Canutillo's FCCLA chapter president is even more of a blessing. Our Canutillo FCCLA chapter has worked hard throughout the years in being region, state, and national winners, making our name known across the nation. When I first joined FCCLA, I was a shy 15-year-old girl who wouldn't get out of her comfort zone. But as I went to compete at regional, state, and as well as when I ran for office, I grew closer to my true self. I suddenly saw myself mature into the young lady I am today. As I walked down the halls for my last time and I opened doors to the real world, I know that my growth I've developed over the years will bring success I've always desired. I can genuinely thank FCCLA, my advisors, and of course my mama for being there for me, pushing me to be the best leader I can. As the years go by, I hope that Canutillo FCCLA will continue to grow, shaping the leaders of the future.
Thank you.
President Coronado, board members, Dr. Galaviz, I would like to call your attention to the extra duty stipend schedule. If our mission and vision is truly to be reached, it is the academic teachers and academic coaches that will lead the way. Athletics will always be at the forefront, and rightfully so. However, the academic coaches such as myself are deserving of a stipend that reflects the same dedication and time as that of any athletic coach. Our very successful math coach has taken our students to the first place in the state 3 times in a row. This is unheard of. Yet, his stipend reflects only $450 per test. Further, my season does not stop on the last day of school. During my free time in the summer, I travel with my students. This is unpaid, non-contracted time. To me, 2 weeks of my free time pales in comparison to a lifetime of possibilities for my students. I am happy to give my students my time. However, the district should not take my kindness and dedication for granted. Please review the stipend schedule and consider increasing those stipends related to academics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speakers are Lisa Rokowski and Carol Sherman.
Welcome, please.
Thank you, Superintendent Galaviz, Board President Coronado, Board Vice President Trout, Board Secretary Iglesias, and Trustees Bingham, Payan, Rodriguez, and Searles for letting us speak to you tonight. We
are here to ask you, the board, to consider giving a stipend to the Canutillo Robotics and Girls Who Code coaches. These coaches have been putting in many hours with our students who are eager to learn for many years without compensation. We have meetings with our students every week ranging from 45 minutes to over an hour, sometimes more. This is not including the time we also spend waiting for parents to come and pick up the students after practices or after events. There are times when coaches have extra meetings or practices for upcoming events that include late nights, weekends, or even working over holiday breaks. For example, last year, Natchez students and coach practiced over their Thanksgiving break. Last year, we even hosted the first annual Canutillo Invitational Robotics Competition, hosting over 200 elementary and middle school students from the district who competed in a variety of events on a Saturday. We also had a lot of interest from other schools about the event. This event was an all-day event starting at 8 a.m. and ending at 3 p.m., not to include the time needed afterwards to clean up. As coaches, we start working with our teams as early as September and ending at the end of the school year, which would be the end of May this year. That makes approximately 30 meetings or 30 hours. We do a minimum of 3 competitive events. Competitions are all day. That is 3 8-hour days. We are now at approximately 50 hours of extra time without considering the fundraising for the equipment, the entry fees for the competitions, the extra practice to get ready for these competitions, along with the extra coaches meetings. We are asking for this board to make the decision to give the district robotics and Girls Who Code coaches stipends for the work that we do in making our students competitive. We thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Our final speaker is Mr. John M. Joyner.
Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. President.
President Coronado, Senator Galaviz, rest of the school board. First, I'd like to say congratulations to all these wonderful young people that we have representing Canutillo in the school district. And then, since I don't have much time, I'll get right to it. By my math, which isn't very good because I went to segregated schools, so it might not be all that good. But we're looking at somewhere spending right around $1.5 million on this building that we still haven't figured out what we're going to do with yet. That, in my opinion, is in the wrong place. It should be at Jose Damian. Now you can't even get to it because you got the road torn up on this end, so you got to go all the way to the vent and get around to the school. By my poor math, 2 tractors at $50,000 a piece, if they last for 10 years sitting outside, we could buy 150 years worth of tractors for what we spent on this building. Now I know it's not just for tractors, it's morphed into something else, like everything in the school district always does. It starts out at one thing and ends up being something else. You start out with an elephant, you end up with a rhinoceros, I get it. But we need to have some kind of care for the taxpayers in this district. It was very telling to me that when you just had your celebration, everybody didn't invite the one guy up to get in the picture who represents people who paid for this party. I'm the only guy here representing the taxpayers, and I didn't get invited to get in the picture, which is all right with me because I understand your mindset and mentality when it comes to people like us. We have a $62 million a year budget, and we're going to spend about 1/60th of it on a building that we don't even know what we're going to do with it yet. That's been moved 2 times, and it's in the wrong place. We now have to drive our tractors approximately 10 miles to get from the school around to our fields because we got to go up to the vent and come around because that's the road shut off. You had a CBAC meeting the other night. I'm on the CBAC committee. Nobody informed me of that. That may be my fault since I didn't have a email, but somebody could have picked up the phone and called me. We had 1 person at the CBAC meeting. They're talking about spending nearly $500,000 more on this white elephant that we have. You guys are not doing your job. I'm sorry. These kids are achieving this stuff in spite of the leadership that they're getting from this committee. I'll tell you something else. Going to 91, that's a good thing, that's an A. But I tell my children all the time, it's not hard to look good when you're competing against mediocre. If the rest of these schools in this school district can't break 90, you're not competing against great. You're competing against mediocre. So while we should feel good about being back-to-back, A-rated, I got that. But if you make a 91 on a test in school, my time's about up. You make a 91 on a test in school, that's barely an A. I want to push you guys to where you're making 99, maybe 100. Where we bring this school district up to what it can be. And you've got a new bond rating, that's great, so you can borrow more money. But be careful what you do with my money, please. That's all I'm asking. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, next agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item 5, Board of Trustee Business A. Discussion and possible action regarding student outcome goal 2. Dr. Khan. I move to approve.
With the board's consent, can we take up the consent agenda item first and then go on to the other board business? Are you okay with that? Yes?
Well, that's fine, that's okay.
All right, we'll take too long. All right, Sonia, the consent agenda.
Yes, sir. Administration recommends approval as presented.
All right, and Dr. Calabese and I had discussed that, we will, and, Ms. Searles is not here, and she had some questions. Obviously, there is an increase in, some of the funding for the item related to the ag, so what, I'm requesting is that we put this item on a special board meeting as soon as possible, and that way we can have a discussion. Extra money might be allocated for that, so.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure, so I think that that's, appropriate with consent of the board.
Yes.
Put this item for a special board meeting, as soon as possible. And that way Ms. Searles and Mr. Rodriguez are also. Okay?
Okay. I think the only thing is, and I agree, because I think the full 500,000 is a lot of money, plus FF&E, but again, last Saturday I was at El Paso County Fair, and these kids are buying animals, hogs, chickens, and they want a place to fix these animals. So we just don't want to keep delaying. We've been talking about this since 2017, 2019. So I just want to make sure again, on record, and the board to realize, as we keep postponing, going back, and a decision doesn't have to be made sooner, so these kids can start using this facility.
And very, very well, put, Dr. Calabese, we do need to get this building underway. The decision is made to get this done, we need to get it done quickly, but we do need to, ask some of these questions with respect to the entry fund, so, we will put this on a special board meeting very, very soon. Okay, Sonia? With respect to the consent agenda item, then I will entertain I'll entertain a motion at this time to approve the consent agenda item with the exception of the item on the ag.
Then I second.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the agenda item, Sonia?
Yes, sir. Ms. Brigham.
Yes.
Mr. Coronado.
Yes?
Mr. Payan.
Yes.
Mrs. Trout.
Yes.
And Mrs. Iglesias.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, that takes us now back up to board trustee business, Sonia.
Yes, sir. Discussion and possible action regarding student outcomes goal 2.
All right.
I would like to move to approve the student outcomes goal number. Second. Oh, what was it?
Ready?
Okay.
Oh, Colonel.
Make sure we're gonna. Yes. I'll grab a chair for you. I got it.
Good evening, Board of Trustees, Board President Coronado, and Dr. Galaviz. Tonight, we are focusing on student outcome goal number 2. Go to the next page, 7. So, the LSG focus for September is on writing and student progress in writing in particular. So, LSG Goal 2 states that by June 2022, 4th and 7th grade students will increase in writing mastery level performance by 8%. Next page. In order for us to achieve that goal, it's important for us to understand how the writing assessments are scored. So on the next 2 pages, I will review for you very briefly how 4th and 7th grade writing assessments are scored. And I just want to pause for a moment to introduce my team. Natalie Spalloni and Sandra Canutillo from CNI, so I want to thank them for being here. And they're going to chime in at any time if there's something that I left out. But it's very important to understand how 4th grade writing is scored. Often people think, it's just about writing a composition, but there's more to it than that. So the writing assessment focuses, especially in 4th grade, largely on the revising and editing portions of the exam. So 75% of that is on revising and editing, and then the expository essay is the rest of that, which is 25%. And so all of that allows students to achieve a maximum number of 32 for the writing assessment for 4th grade. And I forgot to say, and there's also the 24 multiple choice questions for students. When it comes to the writing essay, even though that there's a total of 8 points, there's 2 people that score each assessment. And so a student can receive up to a maximum of 1 through 4 from each of those persons that score it, giving the child the opportunity to win, to get up to 8 points. So that's how that is achieved for 4th grade. If we go to the next page on 7th grade, the weighting is a little bit different. And the expository essay there is 35%. There's still a little bit heavier weight on the editing there, and then the revising is at 28%. And then there they have a 30 multiple choice questions for them to answer. So all of those are combined together to achieve what is the final writing score. Did I leave anything out? No. Okay. All right. Next page. So now you're going to see how Canutillo ISD performed on writing on page 5. So actually page 5 and 6 shows you how we performed in both 4th and 7th grade. And it gives you a comparison between 2017 and 18 and 2018 and 19 school year. So this year we did see mostly gains across campuses for writing, which we were very happy to see. One campus in particular, Davenport, we were very pleased. They saw a 17-point gain. But based on the scores that you see, we developed our master's baselines for all campuses based on these writing scores that campuses achieved this year. So our outcome goals are based on the master's baselines that you see in the 2019 master's column there for both 4th grade and 7th grade. We know that we still have a lot of work to do with our writing scores, and so Natalie's going to talk a little bit about some of that. Hi, good evening. So if we can get to slide number 9, what are we doing to improve? Although we're experiencing gains at this time, we still have work to do. Specifically, you can see some schools there individually, but as a whole team, what works well at one school, we're investigating, what went well and what didn't. Additionally, we've worked to learn brain-based strategies with the work of the Writing Academy.
So you may have seen some of the Writing Academy over the years, and those strategies have really yielded, they're high yield strategies. So what we're doing is right now we actually have put together a benchmark to see where, because again, the data you're seeing, that was our fourth graders last year. Now we have new third graders in that are our fourth graders. So we just administered an assessment to gather the data and see where they are, and then see what strategies we can use. So it's also like to be determined as we figure out what it is that these students need to learn and how. So essentially, we're also allocating time for those individual schools to go back and refine those skills and strategies. So that's slide 9, and then slide 10, as well as working on the fall ready data collection that has been administered just this last week, and going through and just disaggregating that data to see what areas of instruction we will work towards. Which leads us to our early childhood, and I have my teammate here, Sandra Cadilla, to explain that.
Good evening. In order for our students to be ready at 4th grade and 7th grade to do well on the state writing assessments, we have to start building that foundation at a very once they enter our schools. So students in grades K through 2 are assessed using stages of writing development and early childhood rubric, which in your packet we placed samples of several rubrics. One is the writing development instrument, which pre-K through 2 teachers use to look at what stage of writing children are at that particular grade level. So there are samples of pre-K, kinder, 1st and 2nd grade writing samples. We also included a Writing Academy rubric that right now in our district for pre-K through 12th grade, we have curriculum guides that we have given access to all of our teachers, and we have also provided training on the Writing Academy, so that there is that vertical alignment in terms of strengthening the writing process and conventions of writing in all grade levels. Kind of going back also within the stages of writing, oral language development is a key indicator to reading and writing success. So when you look at the samples of a pre-K student and a kindergarten student, you can see, and I kind of put in there what stage of writing they're at, but if they're able to verbally express themselves and communicate, then that is a key indicator that they will be successful in reading and writing. So we want to push for that oral language development at age 4. We also assess emergent student writing readiness and fine motor skill development. And so in addition to all of this, our pre-K and kinder teachers also assess, it's an observable assessment where they look at just overall growth and development of children, including fine motor skills, strengthening those fine motor skills so that they can be successful writers.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Alexis has a question.
Is the assessment done at the beginning of the school year?
Yes.
And then again,
Yes.
middle, and then at the end?
Yes. So we have a beginning, middle, and end of the year assessment.
And these reflect the beginning of the school year?
Yes, so when we were asked to, so our teachers are always, the beginning, they're very knowledgeable, and they immediately, as students come in, they begin assessing where students are at. When we were approached with creating a baseline, we did a district-wide prompt and asked the teachers, okay, so within the past couple of weeks, they've been assessing where the students are, and so I included some of those samples of writing just so you can see the range. Because even within kinder to 2nd, some teachers said, well, I'll give you a low, a medium, and a high sample just so you can see. Because when those children are in those classrooms, they have from, it's just, yeah. So I wanted you to be able to see where they're at now. So this is pretty much within the past couple of weeks, but it's within the 9 weeks of the school year. So it would be beginning, and then we'll assess them again. And then they can focus on the revising and editing piece, which is also helping with that alignment to the 4th grade assessment. And then on slide 12, just kind of, I kind of already started with that, with K through 2 students are responding to that writing prompt. why was it write a story about your best birthday ever? Why was it so special? Some teachers, I think the pre-K, because I included the pre-K in there, they were writing about their families. We wanted to make it a personal narrative where they could really dive into those personal experiences and be able to tell that story. And then, so for grades pre-K through 12, we have invested in the Writing Academy professional development to increase teacher efficacy in writing. So that has been an ongoing effort for the past couple of years. And so we are happy to see that most of our campuses and most teachers are using those strategies. And so that also builds on that alignment. And then 4th and 7th grades are focusing on revising and editing, which accounts for about 70% of the STAR assessment.
And continuing on slide 13. So this year we're experiencing new language arts standards in the state of Texas, which has been everything, all-encompassing, exciting, and equally challenging. We have worked to train our teachers as we ended last school year with the new standards. That doesn't mean there hasn't also still been some learning. It feels a little bit like we're new teachers all this year once again. New standards, new textbooks, new resources. But the idea behind it really, even though there may be some discomfort in the newness of it all, is that we're working towards a balanced literacy here in the state of Texas, where we're reading, no longer it's reading standards in isolation and writing standards in isolation. Everything's integrated. So even as I'm reading with the mind of being a writer. I'm reading to think about the author's purpose and the structural sophistication and the style, so that I can emulate that when I do write. So the idea of this balanced literacy in the state of Texas, it's a wonderful thing. Of course, we're having to really grow into it. It still feels very, very new. But essentially the idea is also through the reading process, we also will yield our writing instruction will also ramp up, and then vice versa. And we also write just like what we read. So it's always recursive, and we're going back in a cycle of that. So we work to do that. There will be a change though with these writing tests. So for 4th grade and 7th grade, as Dr. Kearney so eloquently explained the way that those are scored and weighted, those tests will only be continued for 2 more years. After the 3 years, there's going to be blended instruction now, meaning we're going to have language arts tests. So for grades 3 through 8, right now we're experiencing the new standards. We will start seeing field questions from TEA that will be writing, meaning revising or editing multiple choice questions attached to the STAR assessment. So we'll still have the 4th grade and the 7th grade as you see the blueprint there, but we are in a flux of 2 years where this will then change to something else, more language arts, very much like what we see on EOC 1 and 2, where we have reading, editing, revising, and a composition possibly. So, yes?
Ms. Brigham.
Yes.
I was just saying, especially, we know that right when we get it, they switch it, So my question is, since we are going to more like the EOC model, this goal, how are we gonna, it's already old and outdated. So do we, I get we're going still aiming for it, don't get me wrong. But I think the board, we need to be aware that this has to change to meet the criteria of what's going to happen in 2022. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brigham. That's an excellent point. So next month we have a meeting in Austin, and they're going to be discussing all of the changes. So we're waiting for them to let us know exactly what they're going to do, because this has been kind of up in the air and not really solidified what changes that they're going to make exactly. So once we get that, then we'll come back and let you all know how we might need to adjust our goals. However, we still know that however we need to adjust, there's still a lot of work to be done in our district. If I can call your attention back to slide 8, you can see that our writing results compared to the region in Texas are really not where we would like for them to be at all. And writing has been a struggle for us for years, and in 2017 the test changed, and that's the year that the floor really fell out, I think, across the region and the state. But that really was a struggle for us when the test changed. So we've been adapting to that, I think, with all of the strategies, the resources and training that we've been receiving, I think has helped us to make the gains that you did see, but we're not quite where we would like to be.
Okay, good follow-up.
Yes, ma'am.
Dr. Karen, thank you for that explanation. Also, I was noticing with the chart that you gave us, and also with the goal, the mastery, and the fact that it's changing. Okay. The other thing I was wondering too is we have to look at the needs. So I see 8% in 2022. That's fine. Don't get me wrong, but I'd like to see that needs, and I know you would too. Not a principal coordinator out there that doesn't want to see that. So I was thinking, when you go to the TA, could you look at that too? That I'd like that maybe to be incorporated into the goal methodologies as far as, since it's changing to a DOC model, that I'd like to see. I love the mastery, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything about mastery, but I'm very uncomfortable with, I know you all are, that needs is well below where it needs. Thank you. And thank you for your work.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you.
To the most part, that was our last slide after I was questioned.
Just want to comment and compliment on Ms. Rocha's staff. As you can tell, just to let the board know, in quarter one in October, you'll be seeing the reading. In November will be the.
Where is that? Sorry, Jeff.
It's on.
Oh, I think I see it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, that kind of give you what's coming ahead. Talked about writing today, and next month we'll be talking about reading and math.
Oh, thank you.
November will be the CCMI. Just to let the board know what's coming ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Galaviz, also.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Any questions from the board? I do have. As long as I can remember, this is not a new issue as far as our writing is concerned. It's always been, and the fact that we're even a little bit behind our region, but we're way behind the state averages. And usually we're not. We're usually very close or above it on other areas. So my concern is that I get that we're going to focus on the sports credit and STEM credit. Really, I want us to focus on all the grades and really grades. So what are we doing in terms of increasing the writing? Are we giving these students prompts? I mean, I'd like to see them give prompts at every end of every class. That they do the last few minutes of class, that they do writing, and not necessarily of what they learned in that class, because we know what's going to happen. Who wants to go over that? It's something that they enjoy doing, or they like to write about, or they want to write about. And I would think that maybe if we're doing this as a district, the best way to try and improve writing is to do more writing. And along those lines, why can't we? Are we doing that yearly grades? I mean, I think at the high school it should be as a matter of course that after every class, you have to write a couple, 2-3 minutes at the end. Give them some kind of a prompt, whether it's what they learned in class, whatever they want. As long as they're doing the writing, I don't know.
Mr. Chair,
You
had, I'm not sure if you were on the board then, sir, but I have to invite you. Okay, I was a secondary teacher, computer science and math, God help, okay? So I didn't know nothing about no writing, okay? And I didn't. And what we had to do, and I think it was a board, which was very much coached, if you could imagine, that we were asked as all teachers to have a writing component at every level, and even on our 6-week assessment. And again, I knew nothing about it. I had to ask an English teacher to help me, and he taught me how to do 1, 2, 3, 4 rubric. You know what I mean? So I could, because I wasn't gonna give 15 points because the kid did an essay. I wanted it to be what everybody else wanted to do. So I remember, Mr. Coronado, that in elementary schools, it lends very nicely to do writing. Secondary, as a secondary teacher, and no secondary teachers, we used to work and that we have to incorporate writing into all facets. And if you train them for the people like me, who's a math person, engineer, not a writer, I write bullets. Okay, so how did I say? You know, so I think we have to incorporate a different level of training. And I remember Mr. Bernardo, I mean, it worked. I mean, we didn't like it, but it worked because we did it with fidelity. Everybody did it, and it was aimed at secondary teachers. So I just, when you started talking, I remember you said that, right? And it wasn't easy, I'm not saying this, but I would like to, I echo what Mr. Coronado said, because that's the only way it's going to get done. Is it, and you know what, I do believe Mr. Coronado is focused on that like that. So we have to figure out a better way to focus on it.
If I may comment just
Yes.
on that. Writing across the curriculum is often what we coin that term as. And that's where we have opportunities to write in all content areas. Language arts is a lovely place to do that. We love language arts teachers, but there is an opportunity in all classrooms to what we would coin that also to be low stakes writing, where exit ticket, a quick note card, what surprised you about this lesson, to also you're thinking through, it's critical thinking, but as well as writing, and the more writing we do, more frequent writing, even if it's low stakes, it's still something that we become more comfortable. And then we can turn that into what we call a published piece that's workshopped, and we can go through and then write an essay or whatever it may be as far as a genre. But writing across the curriculum, we had some schools really spearheaded in a really, kind of robust ways. We have other schools that are getting there in some ways. But definitely that is a strategy, that it's a high yield strategy, and it's through all content areas, math, science, English, social studies, all of them, that we certainly can work towards. And then always have that published piece. So in all of our curriculum documents within language arts, we have in every instructional focus document for every given unit. For language arts I could speak to, there's always a performance assessment that includes a reading and writing component, like a published process piece that we always have in language arts. But equally to incorporate that writing across the curriculum and the writing to learn, we like to call them, and to do it more pervasive throughout the district is certainly something we've been working on, but to work on harder to definitely yield more results.
The other question I have is, do we have, I guess, in terms of extracurricular competitions within schools, or about submitting writing, essay contests, anything like that?
So campuses participate, or they'll put their own together, or they'll participate in community-based ones. I haven't, we don't have a district one. I mean, I can't say that I run I don't have one that I run out of the CNI or anything like that, but there are UIL competitions at the campuses that they participate within the various community. But out of CNI, I don't have a writing competition.
There is the one that is done through cooperation with Student Services and UTEP called Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
And we've had our middle school winners from AMS and CMS be champions in that writing contest. So, but yes, definitely something we can investigate and do something.
I'd like to see something besides that, because I know that's really the focus of that is a very particular type of writing or content, right? Yes, that's right.
My question is very simple. I'm looking at here, the writing for the kids, right? Pre-K, and I can see they have so far the idea. I wanted to know if they start to learn and write in Spanish and English at the same time, because I see from pre-K is English, but then I see the one in first grade that he's writing in Spanish.
Yes,
So they started since pre-K?
yes. Yes,
In
so.
both languages, or?
Yes, so right now, the dual language model at the campuses is the one day English, one day Spanish. And so, the teacher will have them writing in both languages. So I could have put a lot more of the samples in there. I just tried to kind of pick and choose different ones so you could see. But I wanted to make sure that you did have some in Spanish so that you could see that, they are writing in both languages in those classrooms. And the idea is that we celebrate all their writing, because we want to make sure that at those very young grades, you know, we don't want to wait till, fourth grade and then it just becomes something like, oh, I have to write.
Exactly.
We want them to feel that safe environment, be in a safe environment where whatever they want to, however they want to express themselves is celebrated. And so by seeing all of those different writing samples that, that teachers are doing that and that children feel that they can express themselves in that way and that they are being exposed to writing daily. The idea is that even in pre-K, that there's writing materials in all of their centers so that whenever a child feels the need to write, that they will have access to those materials to write. And so drawing is a stage of writing, scribbling is a stage of writing. Any way that they can communicate is building on that foundation.
Thank you so much.
Anyone else? Okay, all right.
Thank you. So then we need to approve of this item? Okay.
Nicely done.
Okay, next agenda item.
Yes, sir. Item B, Lone Star Governance updates.
All right. We are definitely, what we need to consider is having a special, since the dates that have really just not coincided with other districts that are doing the LSG training, just hasn't materialized. Obviously, the one that Bacon's chose, where they picked the date of July, right after July 4th, obviously good work for a lot of us. And so it's not going to be any others, but I'm not sure. I think that what we need to do is just go ahead and suck it up and have our own. And maybe we can invite another district locally that maybe will, in the near future, can do it. And maybe we can share some of the cost with them, but we need to talk to Dr. about seeing if there's some way that they can obviously offset some of those costs as well as with Region 19. But I think you have to just do that rather than, since we're not going to be able to do any of the locally anymore, then rather than pay for to do it out of town, we gotta just do our own here and just, I'm willing to do that. Mr. Crayfield has said that they would probably be willing to kind of synthesize it, and instead of having the 2 full days, that it would be less time because the majority of us have already gone through it. So I myself am willing to go through that again. The rest of the board is so that we can have everybody on board and actually do this the way it's supposed to be done. So with that, I think we'll be looking to some dates sometime soon for Mr. Pickle if they might be able to do that.
He also said that he wouldn't give the same training. 2.0. Also, just to let you know, board, tomorrow we're gonna have 18 kids from our 2 high schools, LSG training, dedicated to this trout. Them along with this clap saddle going to Dorneo. They'll also be ambassadors.
So with that, I just wanted to update the board on the Lone Star Governance, where we're at. We really do need to get some dates very soon. We are behind on that, so that way we need to just catch up and try to get this done. And stay on track with our development and implementing these policies. So, any questions from the board? Dr. Galavina, Mr. Craigville,
I'll
and
call tomorrow, asking for some dates. We'll see Mr. AJ tomorrow.
Okay.
Ask him. See.
Sure.
all right, that takes care of that agenda item. Sonia?
Yes, sir. Item C, report regarding the TexEdCon 2019 TASB conference held in Dallas, Texas.
All right, Ms. Brown, Ms. Freeman?
Okay, I'll start it. Thank you very much, board. I would like to bring you some updates also to the staff here. I would like to give the report that it was taken in the assembly on Saturday, September the 21st, 2019. The meeting was called at 14 hours. 30 school boards participated who voted for the proposed rules and for the advocacy resolutions. 40 bylaws and 9 priorities. I'm going to tell you the 9 priorities, which were Texas Public School Finance, Texas Accountability Rating System, Student Safety, Texas Assessment System, Vouchers, Unfunded Mandates, Texas Essentials Knowledge and Skills, Teacher Retirement System of Texas Health Plans, and School Governance. 38 resolutions were presented. 20 resolutions were adopted, and 17 resolutions were duplicated. 1 resolution was not recommended for adoption. This was submitted by Canutillo ISD, and the proposed was equal funding for school districts regardless of their size and location. And the reason was not adopted, that's because we voted that funding all school districts exactly the same will create greater inequity instead of a system greater than improved equity. 6 resolutions were pulled for individual considerations, and it was no objections for the minutes on the agenda of 2018. It was 64,213 messages and calls to our lawmakers. 65% of us trustees contact our legislators for our legislative session. Also, at no cost, the board books will be providing new legal updates at the agendas. Eventually, all of us as trustees, we will need to take training for the new updates with attachments and policies and more. In other words, the board book is going to shut up the way that it is. Everything is going to be paperless, it's going to be in the computer, and it's going to come out with attachments that we need to read, for example, like a reference. If I'm going to move to approve of this, or the district is presenting some recommendation, it comes with it, that policy. So in order for us to know what we do as a reference. So I just want to underline in some of the resolutions that really caught my attention, and the ones that Canutillo, which presented by me, I put a special emphasis in this one, that it was a number. Now we voted to be universal, so regardless of the income, regardless of the background of every child, so everybody has the same right, and it passes with 90% of the board that it was present. Another resolution that really caught my attention, it was the advocates for the review of 22:1 ratio for the guideline. So this one, it was that no more than 22 students. We'd like to have conservatives in the classrooms for the teachers, so they don't have a hard time dealing with their kids enrolled in elementary schools, right? So it was something that really called too much of attention and too much of income, and it passes with 70%. Another one is the declared natural disaster area. So TASB advocates that when a declared natural disaster area is designated by the governor of the state of Texas, the district's impact shall not receive an accountability rating for the 2 years following, and shall not receive financial integrity rating system of Texas designation for 2 years following said declaration. This one passes with 96.7. So I'm going to put an update in the Thursday packet for the whole trustees that could know about this. talking with Dr. Garavis, our superintendent, he was totally agreed to post all these resolutions for the knowledge of the community. Finish my report.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you.
Ms. Brittle.
Thank you. What I did, Mr. Chair, is I'm just gonna read from one, but what I did do is I wrote up the report, and with Mr. Dr. Calvi's permission, and Ms. Sonia's permission, I'd like it to go in the Thursday packet, so then, you get more than just a synopsis, you get the handout that I've got. But one of the things that was, what's happening in special education compliance monitoring in Texas. Texas was charged with artificially capping the number of special ed students in Texas to 8.5%. The Department of Education, the federals, stated that the practice was wrong. DOE officially laid the blame on the state of Texas for systematically denying students with disability required services and support. Wow. Our governor erroneously accused the district of this practice. In other words, he said we were deliberately and woefully negligent. And so people had to tell him, excuse me, it wasn't the district, it was TEA. The DOA, the Department of Education, I'm sorry, had Texas create a corrective action plan. This plan creates needed supports for education for SPED students. It creates a network and proper structures for effective practices, child find criteria, interventions, and transition for SPED students. Texas will be monitored by the DOE, but the end result is more spending will be needed to close the gap created by TEA's bad direction. This was very disheartening session to think our agency created a policy that hurt kids. The Texas legislature created some funding sources in their last session that will not remedy, but it won't remedy the harm that had been created. The presenter said the best practice for board members is the power of board members to ask questions. They said that. So what I did do is a special education reboot, and so I'm going to ask Sonia to put that in. The finance department knows that we got some funding, extra funding. It's not going to be near enough. I remember as a principal operating under this 8.5 rule, we go to state meetings and it's like, I don't get to choose who walks in my front door. I just get to say welcome. And so it was disheartening in a way, but also it was good because they have hired, I know most of us remember when TEA, slashed the whole division, and they fired almost every special ed and 504 person. And that just goes to show you where they were thinking. Okay? So they hired back 50. And so training is going to be paramount. So I want the administrators to look at that because now we have inclusion. Of course we're doing a lot of inclusion. So anyways, I'm going to send you the information I got. And then the last one, and I went to quite a few, but and then the open meeting public comment, which is House Bill 2840. I know some of you went to Region 19, but I'm also including that. I won't give you the one they wrote notes on. But it was very good. I put that I attended several sessions, including Chapter 37, which I'm also giving you a handout on student safety, and article including special education. I attended my first delegate assembly. I was quite nervous at first, but it was really informative. I learned quite a bit of Robert Rules of Order. Throughout the afternoon, they had amendments to the amendment to the amendment. I mean, I was getting confused, but it was interesting to see it in action. And it was interesting to see, I felt sorry for the parliamentarians. I said, good Lord Almighty, I would have just dug a hole. But anyways, it was interesting to see that. And anyways, I just want to say this was a worthwhile conference and the topics were relevant to our district and state. So I want to thank you. So what I'm going to do, do I have Dr. Calvi's permission to give this to Sonia? And so I just think I did do a small synopsis. One of the things I'd like you to look at is the Texas economy. I know we have people that come from the community that talks about, having more than one language, and that was stated in this. We're gonna be left behind if we don't offer a dual pathway for kids to graduate speaking and by literacy, not just, you know, but I mean, that all our kids are coming out with two languages. And I was talking to, on a board, and they were saying they offer 4 languages, all kids graduate fluency 2. Anyway, we were talking about 91. I think 99 is a good place to aim, right? So anyway, thanks again. So I will give this and y'all can read it, and thanks again.
Board President, just something else that I would like to add is very important. We as trustees, we need to satisfy this training. I took it and it was very interesting. So whenever you go and take trainings and you see this one, please take it. This one is recognizing and reporting child abuse in Texas. So this one, it talks about sexual abuse, physical abuse, neglect, emotional abuse, family violence. So this one is imperative that we take the training. It's going to be another different for us. It will satisfy this training. So thank you very much. I don't know about the staff, Dr. Galavis, do they need to take this training as well?
We do that every year.
Yeah, that's good. So now it's coming by TA, but we need to take it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, board.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft, Ms. Brigham. All right, and Mr. Green's not here, we will let him do that at some point. All right, that takes us to next agenda items.
Sir, I believe that's executive session.
All right.
Item 7, executive session. The time is now 6:50. The meeting is to be closed under Texas Government Code Sections 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. Discussion regarding the application and interview process for the position of internal auditor.
Thank you, Sonia.
I don't think anyone wants to, we don't have to stay. And it's good to hear Portland is taking it easy.
These two don't like to leave. I don't know what's up with that.
You guys aren't staying, are you? For internal auditor? Well, I don't know, they're gonna talk about the interview.
Today is our, I have been informed that today is our 13-year anniversary.
Oh my gosh! 13 years since what? Since you moved in, or you've done things?
Since I met him.
Okay. You okay with this thing? All right, tomorrow's our big PD day. If you want to stop by JDE. There's a big
Museum of Art.
Okay, well, I'll be around. I'm probably gonna leave around 2:30 because I have a doctor's appointment. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Drive safely. Drive safely. Drive safely. Sorry.
These ladies get out.
That was my mom's thing.
Safely. Get out of here. Anything you need from us?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm gonna call that Nicholas Cottrell's dad. Sexual harassment.
What is that one for?
Hello?
Wait, we're supposed to ask
Hey,
him what keeps him up at
Mr.
night, that we can take off his plate. So I asked him,